Miami spent the month of June getting hot. 15 commitments, but there's still room for a lot more as we hit July. And Canes fans, are we about to see a flurry of commitments? That's why I got Azubi Charles from CaneSport on this video. We're going to find out who could be the next major commitment for the Miami Hurricanes. But first, Canes fans, do me a favor. Lock in, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We got this thing going. We need you to be a part of it. Hit subscribe for me, please. All right. Let's bring on Azubi Charles of CaneSport, and we know the recent commitments. We got Chris Ewald at the end of June, Herbert Scroggins, Max Buchanan. Those ended the month, but Gavin Nix commits on the first day of July. So Azubi, we got some more big names that are ready to decide. Want to get your thoughts on this. Now, we're going to go to July 4th because that's when the fireworks happen. Hilton Stubbs, who's a top 60 prospect in America, he just recently decommitted from USC about 5 days ago. Now it seems like this recruitment's trending in the Canes' direction. Are we expecting a July 4th commitment?
Yeah, right now I'm leaning towards Miami in this one. Stubbs took his last official visit of the summer down to Coral Gables, and I think things went really, really well. Since he committed to the Trojans some months ago, Miami's remained in that recruitment, and they haven't let up whatsoever, and he loved that about the recruitment process. I spoke with his father, Harold Stubbs, after the OV down in Coral Gables, and they loved what they saw from Miami. But in this one, I think, OVs are going to factor in a big role, but in-season play as well is going to play big time in this recruitment. Obviously, he's going to commit on July 4th, but the Gators and the Hurricanes do play on August 31st. So if things get shaken up a bit, then I can see, things getting a little bit crazy. But right now, I think Miami has this one. And if I'm a betting man, I'm putting my money on the Canes to land Hilton Stubbs.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, maybe I was reading this wrong from the beginning, but when he committed to USC back in March, I kind of felt like it was the Florida Gators that was caught sitting kind of flat-footed, like, hey, how did that happen? He commits to USC. Of course, he gets out of that commitment, and coming out of it, I mean, it didn't take long for the picks to roll in for Miami. So kind of what took place during his commitment to USC that turned the tide in Miami's direction?
I think Miami's just general consensus in the recruitment. Like I mentioned, right when he committed to USC, the Kane staff said, hey, you're committed, but we're still trying to get you down to Coral Gables. And they kind of laid out the plan for him. That's been kind of Miami's big push this offseason, saying, hey, we have a 3-year plan for you to succeed in Coral Gables. If it goes to 4, we can do that. But his family loved the plan that Miami showed that they had for Drake Stubbs, and they love the trajectory of the program. And like I said, if they win the commitment now, it's still going to be a long battle, and they have to continue to show, what they're talking about during the season. But right now, I love where Miami stands.
Yeah, and Canes fans, you might not have to wait until July 4th for the first commitment because we rewinded a class on the July 3rd, 2026 top 25 quarterback Darion Coleman, who goes to Jones High School. He's going to make his decision on July 3rd. So that is tomorrow. RPM picks rolling in for Miami. Now, this one looked like it was trending in Oklahoma's favor for a while back in March, but now it's Miami. What's going on? And we're just about 24 hours out from his decision.
Yeah, this one has Miami written all over it with the 2026 QB domino starting to fall. Things have moved pretty quickly. Like you mentioned, a lot of people were thinking Oklahoma, but Miami got him on campus for 2 straight weekends in June, and he fell in love with the place. Darion has been always a huge, huge Miami fan. I've spoken with him, before. He got that Miami offer, and he's always wanted that Miami offer. He got that Miami from offense coordinator Shannon Dawson. Came back and threw for the staff the next weekend, and, things look great between the two sides. I would be very, very surprised if he's not a Cane by tomorrow evening.
Whew. Getting that quarterback in the class early, that'll bode well for 2026 recruiting. All right, back to 2025. I want to talk Vernell Brown III, one of the most coveted wide receivers in the state of Florida. Spoke to him yesterday. He tells me he's going to be ready to announce in the month of July. Don't exactly know a date on that, but it seems like it's shaping up to be an in-state battle. I know at one point Ohio State was the favorite, but right now it seems like Miami, Florida, and Florida State with maybe the Gators leading this thing. And hey, if we're a couple weeks out, do you think that Miami still has a shot in this recruitment for Vernell Brown III?
I think they still do have a shot, but I think this is going to be kind of a long game for the Hurricanes. They always love to say, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and I think that's going to be the case with this recruitment. A ton of buzz has been, around the Gators' name, rightfully so. The whole Brown family tree, pretty much played for the Gators, currently has a sister that runs track at the University of Florida, so the family ties are there. He's from that area. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the long run he does, eventually look elsewhere. Obviously, in-season play, I think, is going to be another big factor in this one. And, those two teams, like I said, with Hill and Stubbs, August 31st is going to be a huge day on the field, but a huge day on the recruiting trails for these two programs. And, I've said this about a few other guys, I won't be surprised if they commit elsewhere right now, but come December, don't be shocked if you see Mario Cristobal and that staff really, really making a push and trying to flip some of these guys. So right now, my pick is towards the Gators, but hey, come back with this in a few months and let's check on that decision.
Yeah, and you're right, because we're about halfway through the 2025 cycle, midpoint, I would say, because signing day is 6 months from now. But we've seen a lot of recruiting already, but there's still a lot left to go. Miami, about 5 days ago, was sitting at number 19 in the rankings with a couple commitments. They're already up to 16. To me, I don't think they're finishing at 16. I think they finish. They're going to battle for a top 10 class here, but realistically speaking, with what's on the board and what's already on the commit list, what do you think Canes fans can look for a Cane finish in 2025?
I really do think the Hurricanes can finish with their third consecutive top 10 class and even push for a top 5 class when it's all said and done. There's still a few big names, left on the Canes recruiting board. We have Jabari Antoine recently decommitted from LSU, a top 100 cornerback. We have DJ Pickett out of Zephyr Hills, one of Miami's top targets in the 2025 class. SJ Alafaitue out of Bishop Gorman, another coveted interior offensive lineman. And then we have the big guy, Elijah Griffin, the number 1 defensive lineman in the 2025 class. So a lot of big fish left on the board, and the Hurricanes are doing their due diligence and trying to get these guys on the board. So like I said, I do think they're going to finish with that top 10 class and even push for that top 5 spot like they did last.
Yep, and it is a long game. If you remember Justin Scott's recruitment, if you remember Armando Blunt's recruitment, it ain't over till it's over if you're down in Miami. So Canes fans, let us know, who do you think will be the next commitment, and how do you feel about the Canes 2025 class? Let us know, comment section below. Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.